This is a brief presentation and description of the Unified Medical File. First of all, I would like to tell you why is the Unified Medical File a unique electronic medical record system. The basic reason why this EMR is different from others is that it does literally and specifically create a physical single file of the patient medical records containing every single small bit of information about the clinical transaction concerning the patient. This includes the reports of clinical visits, reports of surgical operations, drawal of blood, and the smallest details that are generated when clinical transactions are rendered to this patient, no matter whether this was done in a hospital, in a clinic, or at home. This system does this because it uses a very powerful data engine that capture information in forms that are different in style and then places the information collected by these forms on the cloud and make it available for everybody who is authorized and permitted to see it. Unified Medical File, in this sense, is entirely different from the other systems that we know and that are dependent on interoperability between the systems to create the continuity of care. In such systems, the clinics and the hospitals must exchange messages by the computer in order to complement the information available about the patients. The same goes for the pharmacy, the dentist, the imaging, and the lab facilities. On the other hand, in Unified Medical File, everybody looks at the same page and reads and writes from the same page, and therefore, Unified Medical File does not need interoperability. The basic concept of the Unified Medical File is to document the doctor-patient interactions. So everything that happens between you as a physician and your patient is documented by something called clinical activities. And each clinical activity, when it's occurring, has a workflow that is composed from several web forms. These web forms can be ordered in an imperative or non-imperative way in order to create a forced pattern of a workflow. When clinical information is generated by these interactions and clinical activities, the system of Unified Medical File spins the financial data, the clinical orders, and the insurance data to specific systems that handle the insurance, the clinical orders, and the financial data. In other words, your Unified Medical File is purely to document the clinical transactions and information happening when you are seeing your patients, operating on them, reading their results, or interpreting their images. Unified Medical File is a very simple system to use. It uses something called the use case directed flow. And in other words, whenever you start any action in the system, this action itself will propel you through the use case until you reach the end of it. You do not get lost in screens. You do not get lost in buttons and menus. The system will take you through and you will do what you need to do without getting anywhere else. This makes the system very easy to use and makes its learning curve very short. Almost you do not need any user manual besides watching those videos. When you use this system, the UMF, you will have two main screens, the landing page and the patient unified medical file page. In the landing screen, you can find the list of the patients for whom you did not close the activities that you have started. So this is the page of your homework, your pending homework. In this page, you can search for other patients and finding them by name, finding them by their mobile number or by national identifier. And also, you can select any of your files that you did not finish the homework and who has an unclosed activity, and you can click on the icon of the unified medical page to move actually to your second page that you should get familiar with, which is the patient unified medical file page. The unified medical page of a patient is more or less like a Facebook page. It's a place on the cloud where you can find every bit of information regarding this patient. You can even in this page open an operative report that is 10 years old and see what kind of sutures were used in the operation. You can also even find who assisted in this operation. Evidently, this must have been entered by people who entered the operative report at that time. Therefore, the more you as a physician is rigorous when you're using the system and entering information about your patient, the more you will render the life of yourself and your colleagues easier in the future by examining the patient file. When you start using the unified medical file, there are certain things that are very essential to do very well. And these things are basically the tasks that should be done by physician. For example, in this basic uses of unified medical file, which is composed of 10 items, most of them can be done by your associates, but the items 5, 6, 7, and 8 must be literally done only by you. Why is this? Because these actions, filling web forms and closing them, prescribing medications, creating orders, or closing an activity, are considered crucial actions in the system, and they will require that you sign electronically the document by your own PIN that basically should not be given to others. In this way, you can prescribe a medication in confidence that it is definitely you who did the action. So if you need really to be in this driver's seat very fast, then you need to learn how to fill a web form and sign it off, how to prescribe a medication, and how to create an order, and how to close an activity. In order to learn that, you will find in the collection of videos specific items. Each one of them is dedicated to each single one of those actions. So you can open a video called Prescribing Medications, and you will see exactly how you can prescribe a medication. Now, this is very easy to and will put you in the driver's seat, as I have said, very fast. Besides using the very basic use cases, you can become an advanced user also soon, when you will learn how to create an activity template, an order template, or create a prescription template. You can also let your associates view the order list, and you can see your accrued income, and you can also see the prior request list. In Unified Medical File, as a user, you can still change your PIN and your password, and you can change your current organization that you have used in the login if you are permitted to do so by your organization. You can also manage the persons who are associates of you and who can do your basic actions. This is the end of this video. You can move to select other videos to learn how to do specific actions in the Unified Medical File. Thank you.